Hey Cardinal fans, and welcome to another edition of Cardinals Game Day. My name is Chris Reyes.
And I'm Rory. Well, Chris, it may have taken 6 games, but it happened. We finally notched up our first win of the season this week against HBU at home.
We sure did. And honestly, didn't it almost look like a completely different Cardinals team out there this weekend?
Yeah, offensively, the Cardinals played very well. It was by far the best offensive effort we have seen so far this season. Mr. Dependable Casey Jennings was in great form. He had a total of 5 receptions for 72 yards, which saw him become the 3rd player in the football program's history to reach the 1,000-yard mark. Keep in mind, Casey was a junior college transfer, and he's managed to reach that mark in a little over a season and a half. It was a great milestone for a great football player.
And that great football player also managed to score a touchdown on the day. He had a really great game. Another solid offensive player, Cole Wick. He had 4 receptions for 44 yards on the day, backing up yet another solid performance last week against Southeastern Louisiana.
Yeah, he played very well, but the main thing I want to talk about is our running game showed up this week.
It sure did. The junior sessions of 2013 made an appearance this weekend, rushing 22 times for 118 yards and 2 touchdowns. He was dominant on the ground, often making several yards after contact. We'll be looking for a similar performance this week to keep the offense moving against Northwestern State. Another offensive player who had a very solid day was Braylon McCullum.
Yeah, he played very well. When McCullum first took the starting role a few weeks ago, we knew it would probably take him a little while to really get a feel for the starting role, but it's fair to say that he had a very good game this week. He went 16 of 22 on his passing attempts, throwing for 162 yards, 1 TD, and no receptions. And those are the sort of statistics we will need to see from McCullum in the remaining 4 games of the season.
All in all, our offense made 357 total yards and maintained possession for 37 minutes. Now on the defensive side of the ball, we had yet another solid game. Our defense has started the games well this season, but have fizzled out in the second half due to a stagnant offense, keeping them on the field. This week's solid offensive steps made the defense look even better than they have in previous weeks. Another great sign for the Cardinals.
Defensive standouts included Adrian Norwood, who made 8 tackles on the day, including 1 tackle for a loss, and Josh Zellers, who also had 8 tackles and 1 tackle for a loss, but he also managed to force a fumble in a great defensive play that came up huge for the Cardinals. It was another great game for the guy that they call Snowman, big man Corey Lee. He made 5 tackles with 1 sack and 2 tackles for a loss, and that sack came on a pivotal 4th down that saw Lee cause an 18-yard loss for the Huskies.
And that pretty much sums up the HBU offense. They never really got going due to a huge defensive effort of UIW. They managed a total of 217 yards and 22 minutes of possession.
It was a good all-around effort for the Cardinals to down the HBU Huskies 31-8, and they're going to have to emulate that on the road against Northwestern State. They want to come out with another W.
Yes, they will. Northwestern are currently 2-3 overall and 0-1 in the Southland Conference. However, their most recent game was again a 22-30 loss to Southeastern Louisiana, who had a field day against our sluggish offense and tired defense. We saw that the offense has some potential, and when they support the defense, they can really get things going. The Cardinals are going to have to come out all guns blazing if they're going to pull the upset on the road.
Offensively, the Northwestern Demons are averaging 27.2 points and 360 yards per game. They are led by QB Zach Adkins, who has been completing about 66% of his passes this season. However, he has thrown 8 interceptions compared to only 7 touchdowns thus far.
His leading targets are Ed Egan, who has made 322 yards and 27 receptions, and Tuff McClain, who has made 19 receptions for 227 yards. Demons running back Garrett Alsweiser has 276 yards and 4 touchdowns on the season, averaging 3.7 yards per carry. The defensive leader is Marion Chapman, with 43 tackles, including 2 sacks on the season. And they also had 3 players with 2 picks thus far on the season: Jones, Claiborne, and Albert. They are allowing an average of 371 yards per game, excluding their game against Baylor.
So, Chris, what do you see as the keys to the game the Cardinals are going to get their 2nd win of the season this week?
I believe they're going to have to really put some pressure on this opposing quarterback. Akins just so far has thrown more picks than TDs on the season. So maybe if you can put some pressure back there and really rattle him early, our Cardinals secondary in a hostile environment can really cause some turnovers. And we saw what that can do for our Cardinals when they had 2 fumble recoveries last week, and it pretty much shot down HBU from the beginning. And they're able to get in the offensive rhythm, an offensive rhythm mode, if you will, and really be able to get them in good field position and really put some points on the board.
I think our offense made some steps in the right direction this past week, and they're really going to have to back that up. Our running game finally came back, and Braylon McCullum has plenty of time in the pocket, and he's always been making some pretty good reads, but he's been kind of antsy in the backfield, and he's either been overthrowing or underthrowing a lot until this week. So he has the time to make some good plays, which he's going to need to do, as we saw with the Northwestern secondary having three players now with 2 interceptions or more. He's going to have to make really good reads, and a lot of that comes down to our offensive line. Our O-line has been playing really well. Big Devin Threat, the center, the senior, the team captain, leading a unit that's really starting to gel and play cohesively and get things done, which when they play a really good game, they allow the running game to come back, they allow Braylon to make some good passes, and offensively, we're really in a position to do something.
Exactly. Maybe on the special teams, maybe a kick return from Cody Edwards. We'll see. Well, Cardinal fans, that's all we have time for this week. There'll be no Cardinals game day next week due to the bye week. Make sure you come back with us in 2 weeks when we break down the Northwestern game and look forward to hosting McNeese for homecoming. Until then, my name is Chris Reyes.
And I'm Rory. Be sure to watch the Cardinals live this week on ESPN3. We will see you in 2 weeks, and until then, let's go Cardinals.